Hey guys, what's up? I'm starting this vlog in the car because, well, I'm going to see Ant-Man right now, and I figured I'd intro this vlog on the way to Ant-Man. And I realized that usually when I have a big wave of custom minifigures to showcase in one video, I usually put them in a reveal vlog before that showcase video goes up. That didn't exactly happen. I didn't exactly have time to do that. I was working on getting all the final photos done, getting the actual showcase finished, which I was working from like 1 p.m. until 6 a.m. On Wednesday. So yeah, Wednesday is when I pretty much edited the whole thing, and that was a lot of work. But then the next day, which was your today, but well, no, your yesterday, my today, or tonight, whatever, I posted the video. I scheduled it to upload at like 4:30, and then I realized that one of the Yellow Jacket introduction was screwed up. So I went in, I had to delay the video by an hour, and I was updating everybody on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, all that stuff. And then I fix it, re-export everything, get it uploading. It goes up, but no one sees it. Only the people on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram saw it, and I was like, oh great. So I had to basically take it down and not be able to post it until today. And I'm assuming by the time you're watching this vlog, the showcase is already up and everything was resolved, or maybe it's going to be going up soon. But regardless, that kind of sucks because I wanted the video to go up still on the 16th. It was always planned to go up on the 16th, and unfortunately it didn't work out because YouTube subscription boxes was completely busted, and for all YouTubers, and nobody was seeing it in their sub boxes. So that kind of sucked. But I've been following Ant-Man's production ever since it was announced back at Comic-Con 2012. So I remember when the first test footage was leaked, and then later on it was officially released. I remember when Edgar Wright departed, then Marvel was scrambling to find directors before eventually landing on Peyton Reed, and it's all really awesome to finally be here and you know, be going to see the film. A few of my buddies have already seen it. I'm actually seen it. I can words. They're already going to see it. Actually, I think they already saw it, and they said it was amazing. And I'm going to second showtime because everybody was busy, you know, until after the showtime of the first showtime. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the intro of this vlog. Now we're gonna cut to my reactions of the film and like all the figures that I made for it and stuff like that. Okay, so I've officially seen Ant-Man now, and I've had time to talk about it with some peeps. Those peeps being Joe, 111 Lego Reviews 111, the Brick Barracks on Instagram, but he's Bricks Alive on Flickr, so links to whatever you prefer, Josiah, will be down in the description below. And then I'm also here with TC Maz1 from Flickr, Taylor. So, guys, say hello.
What's up, guys?
You guys sound like death.
It is like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, it is 3 in the morning.
Woke myself up.
Anyway, yeah, so I guess I'm going to mute them for now until we get to Ant-Man spoilers, because now I'm just going to discuss a few things before I do get to my thoughts on Ant-Man. But yeah, so full spoilers is going to be for Ant-Man later in this vlog. But yeah, so just to clarify, I didn't get a haircut still. And also, my Fantastic Four figures are definitely not making the release, as I pretty much sort of clarified in like 10 seconds in my last vlog, because of the Batman vs. Superman madness that was happening that day. And that's a cup from the theater, and that's a water bottle, which I didn't even point to. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, so Fantastic Four customs are unfortunately not going to make the release. But what this does do is once I do see Fantastic Four, I can decide to make the figures or not. Meaning, like, I was going to make the Fantastic Four, like, without having seen the film, but now I can actually, like, you know, decide whether or not it's worth making the entire team, because maybe the movie may not be good. You know, we'll see. So I guess that's pretty cool. So that's kind of nice, and I'm going to have that choice anyway. So yeah, Brick Fair. You might have seen this. This is my parts board. These are all the parts that are going to be required to put together this year's building for the Halo collab that TR Legos Fan is running. TR Legos Fan from Flickr. So I put that together today just as like a checklist, so I can just run that down and just get everything ordered tonight and tomorrow, because we got 12 days until Brick Fair, and this is about as to the limit as it gets. Like, this is really, really seriously bad. I haven't started ordering anything, and if I go over here, by the way, thankfully my mom And my sister and I started this, but my mom has been sorting all these parts from last year's collab building that I did. And so I have most of these parts already. It's just, I know I don't have all of them, and I'm gonna need to order more. So tonight I'm gonna be counting out what I do have, figuring out what I don't, and ordering the rest. So yeah, it's gonna be really insane and really, really cutting it close. And to be completely honest, guys, I'm really concerned. I really hope that I'm going to be able to do this. I mean, obviously I have enough pieces to make a building, but the design itself that I actually made to bring, it's just, God, I'm really hoping I can do this. I got to really rush and really make it clear to these Bricklink sellers that, hey, I need these parts like now. So it's been really bad, and because of the moving and my family's financial situation this past couple weeks, I've had my hands tied, and especially with Ant-Man coming up so close. So it has been a real ride, you know, getting this design done and all the stress that has come along with just hoping that it'll be okay. So, you know, just that. I'm trying to pull up the actual LDD file. My computer is not working with me. Anyway, yeah, so at Comic-Con, they also showed, like, after I had vlogged that same night, there was a panel for Arrow, and there was a panel for Deadpool and X-Men Apocalypse, and everything looks amazing. The Green Arrow suit, now that he's officially going to be called Green Arrow, is super exciting. Arrow Season 4, the pilot, is going to be called Green Arrow, so Oliver is finally calling himself the Green Arrow, and that's exciting. The new Arrow suit looks perfect. I don't think... It's like the Age of Ultron Captain America suit. Like, they didn't change the Captain America suit for Civil War, because I think Marvel realized we made the best Captain America suit that we're probably ever going to make, so they're just going to leave it there. And I think that's kind of what the Green Arrow suit is for the CW. Like, that's the best I think his suit's going to get for this series. So there's that, and then also Deadpool, the footage was leaked for that. I have like 2 versions of it downloaded. Deadpool looks great. Definitely going alone to see Deadpool later, you know, at the start of 2016. It's just, I want to make a Deadpool figure. And guys, let me clarify right now. Next year's gonna be so packed for me. I don't know what I'm gonna make and what, you know, I don't know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. As much as I want to be able to say, yes, I'm gonna be making all the figures for this movie, all the figures for this movie, I've only got 2 hands and a certain amount of time in between each movie. So we will see what I'm able to do and what I'm not able to do. I want to do all of it. It's just, I'm only one Ross, like I said, so we'll see. I want to make Deadpool, but Deadpool comes out in February. Batman vs. Superman comes out in March, so Deadpool might end up being a side figure. I don't know. I'm not there yet. So after The Force Awakens, those are questions I think I'll be able to answer. But the Deadpool footage did look great. Ryan Reynolds is perfect as Deadpool, and it is plenty vulgar, plenty of cursing, and all of the above awful, which is what Deadpool is supposed to be. So I'm glad that they're, you know, doing the character justice based on the footage we were shown at Comic-Con. So looking forward to the trailer. They're actually going to be releasing it in 3 weeks, by the way, and it's full, you know, it's full quality because apparently they were still working on visual effects for the the version we saw at Comic-Con was apparently like a unfinished version, you know, effects-wise. So that, Deadpool, and then X-Men Apocalypse, we got the Entertainment Weekly cover, by the way. That was amazeballs. We got that today, actually, for Apocalypse, and on it we see Apocalypse himself, Oscar Isaac, you know, Poe Dameron from the freaking Force Awakens, playing Apocalypse, and I gotta say, he looks like completely unrecognizable as Apocalypse. Like, it is insane how well the makeup just hides him, you know, like you can't even tell that it's Oscar Isaac underneath all of that. Like, that just looks totally amazing, and I guess superhero hype plug right there. But in that photo we also saw Psylocke, you know, Olivia Munn is playing her, and I hope I didn't just butcher her name, but I'm pretty sure that's it. We also saw like Storm. We got some photos of Jean Grey and Cyclops and Jubilee, and you know, the new Magneto suit, all of it. And, you know, I want to make all of it. We'll see. It's just, like I said, movies next year, there are so many coming out. And I'm excited for all of them. It's just, I don't know what I'll be able to do and what I'm not going to be able to do. But I just wanted to answer that because I know a lot of you guys on Instagram and everything else, everywhere else, were asking me, are you making figures for this movie? Are you making figures for this movie? Yes, I'm going to try. Suicide Squad, the trailer came out for that, and Warner Bros. Really issued this whole statement like, we are so genuinely disappointed, I'm totally paraphrasing, that this footage was leaked. This is not how we wanted fans to see it, and it's like, this is Comic-Con. There are thousands of people in this room. What do you expect? And it's like, the footage for everything leaks. I mean, it's like they acted so surprised, and it's like, this is not new. This happens every year. It's happened to them before. I just found that funny. They released the whole thing, full HD. It was amazing. We saw so much. The entire Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, Jared Leto's Joker scene also looked amazing. We saw plenty of Amanda Waller. We saw plenty of Killer Croc. I mean, we saw we saw a shot from the Batman sequence. We saw plenty of Captain Boomerang, Deadshot. You know, name dropping the Suicide Squad. Him in his Deadshot mask, which looks amazing. We saw a few shots of Enchantress and potentially her origin. We saw a bunch of Joker's goons, Harley Quinn's potential origin that they're going to be showing. I wouldn't say potential; it's pretty much confirmed they're going to have her origin in it. So that's really exciting. The whole trailer was amazing. I got a lot of you guys asking me if I had just seen it, and yes, I saw it. I saw the damn thing. I saw the trailer. Okay, and it was amazing. It was completely mind blowing. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. It was fan-freaking-tastic. Joe, do you have anything to say about Suicide Squad? Because I know you were like pissing your pants. Sorry for the language.
If we wanted to make this video an hour long, but
yeah,
sum it up, it was pretty amazing.
It was fantastic. It's just, they released that much footage in the first teaser, and it's like, the movie's still over a year away. It's like, damn, that's a lot of footage for a teaser. You know, that's you know, when the movie's so far off. So there's that as well. And then what else? As I pull up my bullet points, totally discreetly, not. Jokerland and the Achievement Hunter figures are the two videos you will most likely see from me before Brick Fair, potentially not. I might only have one video going up before Brick Fair. We will see what I'm able to do, because like I said, this whole thing is my main focus, the entire design. And I can't really show you what the building looks like completed, but this is what it looks like broken up into all of its sections. It splits apart in all the sections you see there, and it looks really sweet when it's all put together. So there's that as well, and lots of things. And yeah, so the Achievement Hunter figures I want to finish, hopefully before Brick Fair if I have time. And then also, like I said, the Jokerland that I want to review, and that's pretty much everything I think I wanted to mention aside from Ant-Man itself. So to get to the reveal parts, I mean, I didn't really start off this segment of the vlog simply because I already did the reveal kind of on my other social media platforms, Flickr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, because I already showed the figures over there. You guys have probably already seen them if you're over here on MGF Extra. But yeah, so I guess we'll just start off right now with Ant-Man, and this Ant-Man minifigure obviously using the LEGO Group's helmet with the front filled in, fully painted, and a lot of you guys were telling me to use LEGO Group's torso, and I decided I didn't want to do the LEGO Group's torso because this year is going to be a lot of upgraded figures as it is. I had like a lot of upgraded figures in the Age of Ultron showcase, and there's going to be a lot of upgraded figures in my Force Awakens showcase, so I figured, why not just, for the sake of, you know, for Ant-Man, I'll just make the figures fully painted. That's what I wanted to do with these figures, and that's the decision I made, and that's the route I took. So you can see Ant-Man fully painted here. Very, very accurate, surprisingly, because I had a lot to go off of. He has barely anything on the back of his legs, though, in the film, so there's barely anything on the back of the legs of my figure. But yeah, the helmet was definitely pretty fun to paint, especially like the top area. And I say fun because it actually turned out really awesome, but I'm not really sure if fun would be the right word for it. The back was the more complex part of the figure, though. But then if we go ahead and pull off the helmet, if it'll cooperate, you can see I do have a Paul Rudd face, and the Paul Rudd face is actually, like, I based it off of, I think I still have it up here. I actually based it off a specific image of Paul Rudd. If it's this one right there, that's what I based it off of. That picture of Paul Rudd right there from that promo art, that poster. So that's what I based this entire smirk and everything off of. And you can see I got the facial hair all painted on there, dot for dot. So that was pretty complex to paint. And making Ant-Man, it was cool to finally finish the figure and see it all come together, because I had started on an Ant-Man figure way back in January. You know, like when the first teaser came out, I had already made that torso that you saw there. That torso is well over 7 months old. And I wouldn't say well over, but it is about 7 months old. But you guys probably saw this helmet, the General Zod Ant-Man helmet, and this ended up being scrapped because what I was able to do with the LEGO Group's helmet was a far better result. And so that photo, the reason I posted that photo way back in January, because I knew once we reached the Ant-Man sets and I experimented with the Ant-Man helmet the LEGO Group I knew would inevitably make, I thought maybe their helmet's going to look better, so I should probably show this helmet now, and that's what I did. That's why you saw that Ant-Man photo way back in January. But Yellow Jacket, my God, this figure figure was complex to make. And I mean, up until the last minute, I didn't really have a lot of reference to go off of until San Diego Comic-Con happened, and Hot Toys brought their Yellow Jacket figure, which was really helped me out with the arms and the legs. So making Yellow Jacket, though, was really actually a fun figure to make, and I think the end result really, he's like one of my best paint jobs that I think I've made this year. And I say that in the showcase video, by the way. The back apparatus, like the way it looks on the back, is not accurate. Like the tentacles are supposed to be lower, but it's just, I didn't know that until after I'd already made it, and I was not expecting to find any reference of the back of Yellow Jacket's, you know, tentacle, you know, his stinger pack that he has. So this is how it ended up looking. This is actually the piece used on Venom and Carnage, those figures, with one of the clips cut off and everything sealed together with tons of paint and tons of glue, and the entire figure fully painted, obviously, and I even have some detail on the wrist. There are tiny tactical glove tops, and it's just a ton of paint and an overall really accurate looking figure. And the face that I decided to use for Corey Stoll, if I can, it's not really easy to get the helmet off of Yellow Jacket with one hand, so I guess I can try to do it. Okay, this is not going to work. Just look at the showcase video. I'm assuming the showcase video should probably be up by now. Or maybe it'll be up in a little bit depending on when I post this vlog, but you can see the head that I use on Yellow Jacket in the showcase video. So there's that. And speaking of which, real quick, let me just try to get the two of them in one shot to give you a look at the significant difference. Now there are pieces missing from the back of Lego's Yellow Jacket, but my Yellow Jacket and their Yellow Jacket, you can kind of tell that I had a very different idea planned for my figure. The Lego group obviously did for their design, but their helmet, the proportions of their helmet was definitely accurate. It's just the printing and the color is where the Lego group really screwed up. And I totally understand like the playability aspect of their Yellow Jacket figure. It's just not something obviously that I wanted to carry over onto mine. Then Hope Van Dyne I did make as well, and you can see that Hope is a much more simple minifigure, and you can see like I painted, it's actually painted onto an area-like curved torso, and then the face is actually Claire's from Jurassic World, and I just painted the eyebrows and the lips on it, and you can pretty much see everything I painted on Hope. She even has a painted tiny tactical watch as well. So Hope is a brand new figure that if you're just seeing this figure for the first time is obviously new to you, because I didn't actually reveal the Hope figure or my Hank Pym figure until the final photo. And speaking of Hank Pym, I do have Dr. Pym here, fully finished as well, my Lego Michael Douglas. This face I did paint, and this turned out really awesome. I actually painted this about, like, Hank Pym was the first Ant-Man figure that I finished. If you guys have followed my previous vlogs, like this was finished way ahead of time, and the face was a one-shot deal when I painted it, and it turned out really awesome and definitely better than what the Lego group did. Freaking Gandalf. That's still really strange to me. But another thing, Hank Pym related, coming off of Ant-Man now, having seen the film, that black suit was BS, and Hank Pym was never in an Ant-Man suit, you know, when he's, you know, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but like Hank Pym, he's not in that. It is kind of a spoiler. The black suit's not an Ant-Man, and older Michael Douglas never suits up in an Ant-Man suit. So there you go. I think it's the best way I can phrase it without spoiling anything for you guys. But yeah, then also the micro figure, which I don't actually have on me. The micro figure is in the showcase video as well, the micro Ant-Man, so that's a thing. And those are all my Ant-Man figures and everything, all the figures that I made for the film. So yeah, that's the reveal portion. And now, guys, Joe, is anybody still here? Anybody hang up? No, we're all still here. Good. Okay, Joe. Now we can talk Ant-Man spoilers. So if you've not seen Ant-Man at all, or if you're looking forward to seeing it, you know, what have you, definitely come back to this vlog later, because we're going to be going over full Ant-Man spoilers here, at least our general thoughts with spoilers included. So I think if, you know, like, I totally agree with what critics said. It's not the best Marvel movie. You know, like, in comparison, it doesn't really compare to Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and it doesn't really compare to Guardians of the Galaxy, because it really is its own thing. And what I do appreciate about Ant-Man, though, is just how seamlessly it fits into the rest of the MCU. Yes, it's not the absolute perfect Marvel movie, but it turned out to be really, really awesome. And I think that the fact that it is so awesome, it does stand on its own. Like, it's not, you know, really worth comparing to those movies, but if I were to pick, I would definitely say that last year's Captain America: The Winter Soldier and, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy was better, and then obviously Avengers: Age of Ultron, but Ant-Man still fits seamlessly into the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, the entirety of the film, Peyton Reed definitely did a great job directing this film and the entire cast, but when I saw the film, you could definitely tell what was going on in terms of Edgar Wright's departure when he left the project, and Marvel eventually landed on giving Peyton Reed the project, because you could tell that like they said there were creative differences with the whole Edgar Wright thing, and with the amount of Avengers references there were in this film, to Age of Ultron, to Iron Man, to Peggy Carter, to Howard Stark being in the film, those two, down all the way down to the entire Falcon fight sequence. I mean, freaking Ant-Man drops into Avengers headquarters in Brooklyn, and he freaking he gets into an altercation with Falcon. Anthony Mackie's in the movie, fully suited up, in the suit that you saw at the end of Age of Ultron and the one you're gonna see in Civil War. It's an entire sequence between the two, and the two meeting, and it's actually like a 2 or 3 minute long sequence with Ant-Man at Avengers headquarters. And I mean, in previous MCU films like The Winter Soldier, you had like references to Howard Stark, references to references to Tony Stark. You had the references were in there, references to Banner, but. And in Guardians of the Galaxy, you had the Tesseract, but in Ant-Man, you are just like I think what Edgar Wright must have disagreed with is that you can do Guardians of the Galaxy, and people, I think they knew people were probably going to accept that, but Ant-Man sounds even more ridiculous to the general person, so they really want to slap and just beat you over the head with the fact that Ant-Man is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's gonna be in Civil War, here he is, get used to it, that sort of thing, and they really make it clear in the film. And Joe, I know you weren't really fond of the ending fight sequence between Scott and Yellowjacket. Like, is Joe even here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, and it's just the ending sequence with Yellowjacket. It really is just an extension of what you already saw in the trailers in a lot of ways, but it is still really awesome. And I thought it paid off. It wasn't totally epic. It wasn't totally, it wasn't totally incredible, but it was good. It was cool. And the Yellowjacket suit, damn, that is so awesome. Like, I thought the Yellowjacket suit was like Ultron Vision level cool. Like the CGI wise, it was absolutely amazing, the Yellowjacket suit, and I'm really proud of the figure that I made for it, of it rather. So yeah, Yellowjacket was awesome, and I definitely give Yellowjacket and the CGI that they put into the making of it and its look a seal of approval. So yeah, and aside from that though, I think Ant-Man, it was fast. That's something else I want to mention. The film was great. Don't get me wrong. I think that you absolutely should go check it out. But it was fast. The runtime is not even 2 hours long. It's a fast film. It's not 2.5 hours like Age of Ultron was. So, a lot of it does happen quickly, but I think Paul Rudd, the entire cast, they all portray their characters really, really well. And then the post-credit scene, Wasp. Wasp, she's always got the wings, the black suit, the yellow torso in the comics. And I think the only thing that we're going to get from that rendition of Wasp is the hair. That's really the only thing that Wasp is obviously going to have, is because Evangeline Lilly is already sporting the Wasp hairstyle, but the suit looks nothing like the one that we've seen in the comics. The one that we see in the mid-credit scene, it's great. I think it's great for a more realistic version of Wasp, but man, it is nothing like the comics aside from the wings. So I think it does look cool though. It does look cool. I'm excited to see what that might look like in a potential Ant-Man sequel. And I don't think, obviously, that probably won't fit into Civil War. She's not going to be in Civil War, I don't think. And there is no Ant-Man 2 on Marvel's slate right now unless they adjust it like they did for Spider-Man. So we'll see. But it did look cool. And speaking of Civil War, the post-credit scene with Captain America, with Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson and Bucky all in one room. Clearly they found Bucky. And Joe, I guess we really didn't see what was going on in the scene. They only show Bucky briefly for a second before they cut to Chris Evans and Anthony Mackie, but it looked like Bucky's mechanical arm was stuck in something, or they had just found him and they need Ant-Man for something. But they mentioned Tony and how I guess they can't really, he can't help her. I have to see it again tomorrow, or I guess your today, because that's when I'm seeing it again, is my tomorrow, your today. But I guess technically still my today because it is 3 in the morning. So Yeah, it was pretty cool. The post-credit scene, Civil War related, and they had the whole like Winter Soldier theme playing through the whole thing. You guys, if you saw the Winter Soldier, and once you see this post-credit scene, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, then Anthony Mackie mentions that he knows a guy who can help them with whatever situation it is that they're having in Civil War. So Ant-Man, obviously, that's his introduction to Civil War, was that post-credit scene. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, Ant-Man is definitely on the Avengers radar, but one thing I do want to mention about the whole Avengers headquarters thing is what was going on with the Falcon scene in terms of the lack of other characters. Like, I think when Falcon was using his earpiece and he was talking to whoever it was on the other line, we should have been able to hear Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill or something, because it kind of just felt like it felt like Marvel could only get Anthony Mackie to do this, and nobody else wanted to be involved, or they just didn't want to get anybody else involved, or maybe they didn't want to pay for it, that sort of thing, because you don't see anyone else. The entire Avengers headquarters, there's no one outside. And when Anthony Mackie goes inside briefly, there's no one there either. So I'm not even sure if there was anyone inside. It was really awkward because it was just Falcon and no one else at the Avengers headquarters. It was just really awkward. So that was, I thought, was strange. But it was still a really great scene regardless. And the entire thing with the ants and how they were used, the CGI for the ants, it was all fantastic. The entire film was fantastic. The cast did a fantastic job, and it was incredibly hilarious, especially Michael Pena. I thought he did a great job, and Darren Cross, while he was a bit of he was a different, he was a different villain, in terms of what we've seen in the MCU, but he was just kind of a vessel, I guess you could say. Like it was kind of a stereotypical type villain, I think. But it was still good. It was still good. And this Yellow Jacket suit, like I said, was great. Spider-Man references, I was hoping that one of the, like when the Hydra comes in and it's revealed that guy you saw from the beginning is with Hydra, I thought that was cool. It's just, I was kind of hoping that'd be Oscorp instead. I was hoping that Oscorp would be one of the companies Darren Cross was going to try to sell the Yellow Jacket technology to. But it was Hydra instead. So I was hoping that Oscorp was going to be that reference, but instead it was Hydra, no Oscorp reference. Instead we got a Spider-Man, like there's a guy who swings reference. That's pretty much what was said toward the very end of the film. So the Spider-Man reference was definitely in there. I thought that was kind of cool, but it was a little underwhelming in comparison to what I thought they might do. Like I said, the whole Oscorp thing. So aside from that, though, there are no other general thoughts that I really have about Ant-Man. It was definitely pretty cool and really sad thinking about how Janet Van Dyne died, even though, or she was shrinking infinitely. That whole thing. It's really sad that she didn't have one of those discs that Scott had to get herself out of that entire absolutely surreal situation of being stuck in the microverse, or however it's pitched in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it was cool seeing Janet Van Dyne. We have no idea who actually. I have no idea who is playing Janet Van Dyne, but she is in the film. In a flashback when her and Hank Pym are trying to stop that missile that was shot out from Russia from hitting the U.S. So, yeah, man, it's July 17th. Can't believe that we're already here. And now I'm moving on to Fantastic Four and The Force Awakens for the rest of the year, pretty much. And then obviously all the side figures in between, from like the new Green Arrow suit, which I'm sure I'll make, and potentially Arkham Knight figures if I'm able to squeeze those in. Halo 5 Guardians, a lot's coming, guys, after the Ant-Man Showcase. Look forward to the Ant-Man Showcase. Hopefully it's already out by the time you're seeing this. If not, it'll be out as soon as I can get it out, depending on how YouTube sub boxes will cooperate. So, yeah, Joe, what did you think of Ant-Man?
I agree with you. I liked it. Wasn't my favorite Marvel movie, but it's a good movie to see.
Yeah, and it fits into the MCU. It does its job, I thought. And if there is no other sequel to Ant-Man, this was good, and it'll be great to see him in Civil War. So I'm sure there will be a sequel to Ant-Man, though, especially for Phase 4 once Marvel starts to run out of Avengers to use and some of the actors leave. So anyway, that is it for this vlog, guys. I'm going to get focused on this, get some parts ordered, and get building it, and get ready for Brick Fair, design some new contact cards to get printed, and I'm going to do all that stuff, and I'll catch you guys later. All right.
Bye.